What if I told you lucid dreaming can get you to astral projection, but they're actually two different kinds of consciousness? All right, so what does this mean? This means that if you are into lucid dreaming, you can easily be into astral projection, but they're not the same. Let me tell you the differences. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one you're in and how you can use both. So if you like this stuff, hit the like button. If you like the channel, and you know you do, hit the subscribe button. Okay, let's get to it. Lucid dreaming and astral projection, two different things. What's different about them? Well, lucid dreaming, you're the god of your experience. Everything is you. It's in your imagination. It's of your mind. It's not necessarily of another realm, and usually it's not. Um, Also, it has differences in your body. Lucid dreaming, like other dreaming, can go into REM sleep. You can have anxiety in your body because you have anxiety in the dream, or vice versa, right? You could be very restful and pleasurable or sexual in your dream, and then your body will reflect that to some degree. You can alter the physics in a dream. You can summon people. You can rewrite reality. It's just all your mental construct. And nobody else in the astral is going to be able to necessarily see all that. It's completely up to you. Even you can be a lucid dreamer in the astral, and nobody else is going to know what you're dreaming about. It's completely, it's a consciousness that can be separated from you. Doesn't have to be. Can be very separated from you, but it's your dream, and it's much more connected to the body and how the body feels, honestly. So if you're sick, that's going to affect your lucid dreams or your regular dreams a lot because they're very connected. Astral, on the other hand, um, you're taking your waking consciousness and putting it in the astral realm or in this physical realm. It is a real thing in a real shared space, shared dimension. It's co-creative. So when you summon uh, a character in a dream, nobody else sees it necessarily. But when you do that in the astral, everybody else sees it. Everybody in the astral sees it. It's co-created. And other people will show up in the astral that you have no contact, and it's a shared space. It's like going to the mall, right? It's people coming and going. That's kind of what it is. Also, it's more disconnected from your body. So what you're doing in the astral does not necessarily affect your body. There is a connection. There's always a connection. And that's why you get pulled back so frequently and so easily, because there's always a very strong connection. But it's not as immediate and intense as when you're having a lucid dream. The stuff you do there, yeah, if you're in the astral realm and you're having sex, and let's face it, it happens. Uh, Not necessarily what your body's doing or thinking about. It's going through a whole different thing. And I'll throw in another extra too. Your body, when you're sleeping, lucid dream or regular dream, is healing you. It's cleansing you. It actually takes the time. Your brain produces a lot of toxins um, during the day in order to operate. It's like a machine, like a computer creates heat when it thinks or does computations. And similarly, your brain does the same. When you go to sleep, it uses that time to take those toxins out. It cleanses your brain of a lot of toxins. That's why you need a lot of sleep. That's why you need 8 hours. That's one of the reasons why you need so much time. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of healing and cleansing, mental health, physical health, emotional health happening in your dream space. But that does not happen when you're astral projecting. It is a removal of your waking consciousness to a large degree and putting it someplace else. and the body is in a rest state, but it's not necessarily in a healing, cleansing state like it is with dreaming. And that connection between you and your body is lesser so, but it's definitely there, right? Because you're going to be pulled back. If you get too excited, you're going to be pulled back in a second, right? It's just a thing that happens and we have to look out for. Also, when you're astral projecting, the brain does different things. Um, like when you're astral projection, it's more, the brain is more in a theta and gamma state, like near sleep paralysis meditation space. That's where the brain is in. You can see it if you have the technology to see it. It's different than it is with lucid dreaming or regular dreaming or just about anything else except sleep paralysis and meditation. It's also like I said, it's an identical place. People can meet you in the astral realm and see basically what you're seeing. There might be some differences in perception, and this goes back to the what the CIA found in astral projection when they looked into it. It's an identical space. Everybody can go there and see what's going on, just like everybody could go to the mall with your buddies and you can see what's going on. When you come back, though, and ask questions about it, everybody will have a little bit of a different perspective. And some people will say, I saw this person, another person say, I didn't see that person, that kind of thing. But that's normal. That's awakened consciousness. And that's what astral projection does. It moves awakened consciousness from your brain to something outside. It, but not entirely, okay? I have to always put that in there because people think that the soul is being left and the body is vacated. It's very unvacated, right? It's got tons of stuff going on in it. It's just a very small part of your consciousness and being that's being projected outwardly. And with lucid dreaming, there's a lot of, if you have the technology to see it, there's a lot of frontal lobe activity going on. That's where your dreams are. That's where you think from. When somebody asks you what's 4 times 4, that's the part of the brain that starts cranking it away. It's where the imagination is. It's where nuances in your thinking occur. And that's going to be where lucid dreaming is going to show up a lot too. There's also spikes in memory learning neurotransmitters because the brain is working a lot. You're very close to it. Even you're very well connected to it. Let's use that word. You're very well when you're lucid dreaming. Even if you can lucid dream in the astral, but you'll be very well connected to your brain, and your brain will show it on scans, and your neurotransmitters that are made for memory and learning will be going, full tilt. Where that doesn't happen in astral projection. Astral projection looks to the brain, it looks like you're meditating. It looks like you're saying constantly. You could be off having the craziest adventure ever. Um, I don't know, a lot of ups and downs and incredible epiphanies and emotions and things happening, which, hey, that's why we do it, right? And your body will look like you're just going, like a state of bliss and calmness. That's just the way it is. Um, right, the CIA found this also when they were looking into the Gateway program as well. It's this, and the brain syncs up. You have 2 lobes here, and they basically, if you're doing math, they're on one side. If you're painting, your brain will light up on the other side. You heard that right brain, left brain thing. Well, when you are astral projection, both hemispheres, they look pretty much the same. That's part of where the hemisync, well, it's all of where the hemisync comes from, right? The hemispheres are in synchronization. They're doing the same thing, basically. and it looks like meditation. It looks like a completely relaxed state, and it is. The brain is kind of let to do, just chill out while you're doing your thing. Also, um, when you're lucid dreaming, at least for me, you go right into the dream, or you're in a regular dream, and then you can get your consciousness together and lucid dream it. However, when you're having an out of body experience from the physical body into, you will probably pass by the vibrational state. This loud humming or screeching sound, sometimes it's quite frightening. You'll pass through that first, especially if you're going to if you're going to astral project into the physical realm, which is right here. That's why I do that. And of course, astral projection is an actual event that's happening. It's actually happening, where lucid dreaming or any kind of dreaming is just happening pretty much in your imagination. You can have an actual event that people can share when you're in the astral, like I said before. So what about the astral and esoteric perspectives on this? Um, this lucid dreaming is a new term to our age. However, other cultures back in the day have been doing something like it, or speak about something like it. The Tibetans have a dream yoga practice where they use dreams in order to realize that life is an illusion. It's like a practice to break away from the physical world in order to get more into your spiritual self. The ancient Greeks, they used dreams a lot. They used dreams for divination. They used dreams to heal you, healing through guided dreams. There were some cults that used dreams to speak to the gods and ancestors and the underworld and all that stuff. They did know about dreams, and they did respect them, and they saw them as a thing, almost like we would see astral projection. However, there were some astral projection mysticisms in the past, right? You had Egypt, they had the Ba soul, the traveling duat, astral, traveling your consciousness to the underworld. There was a big thing back in ancient times about the underworld. They believed that, a lot of cultures believed that there was this underworld where you would go, whether it was a river Styx or it was a whole world under our feet. Heaven wasn't up there, it was down there. And it wasn't too heavenly. It was like ghosty, and but in Egypt mythology, you could make it your own in several different ways, which I won't go into. Once again, dreams are personal and astral is collective. Okay, so how do you know which one you're experiencing? I always say, you'll know, dude. You will know. You will know which one. You'll feel it. However, before you get there and you do feel it, you should know kind of like what it is and a way to test it. So dreams, lucid dreams, you'll do reality checks, like I said before in the previous videos. Reality checks will be, a good one is text. I don't have any text with me right now. Well, how about this pen, right? I can read what's on this pen, right? I can read what's on that pen. But if it was in a lucid dream, that text wouldn't make any sense. It would be just all squiggly lines. I have a clock back there. There it is. The clock makes sense. It says one something. It wouldn't say that if I was in the astral. It's probably all, who knows what would be on it. Just squiggly lines again. Or maybe nothing. Because you have to tell the clock what to be in a dream and what to tell you in a dream. And I don't have to tell, in the physical, I don't have to tell anything. I basically ask the clock what time it is. And the little mechanism in there it keeps time. And it puts it on this little LCD. So I don't have to tell it anything. But in a dream, you have to tell it everything, or it won't look like anything. And dreams always feel a little hazy. It's like almost like you're dragging your consciousness along, and it's a little, you know how it is. Where astral projection, when you're in it, it's going to feel just like this. Just like you're sitting here watching this video, it's going to feel like that. That's what it's going to feel like. It's not going to, you're going to be blown away by how real it feels, how yourself you are. And that's just not how dreams are, right? It's just kind of wishy-washy. And then, you know, like you'll be having a dream about some place you worked at a million years ago, and you'll feel like that person again, and you'll wake up and you'll be like, whoa. Or you'll have a dream about your childhood, and then you'll feel like you're a child again, and again, whoa. That's not going to happen in the astral. You're going to be you, the real you are now and awake now. You won't have to be trying to make things happen. Things will be happening with or without you. Also, you have to go through the vibrations and the loud sounds and the pops if you leave your body consciously as well. So you'll know that's for real. That's never going to happen in a dream. And another thing, there's a bit of a time distortion when you're in dreams, right? When you're in a dream, sometimes even if it's lucid, it will seem sped up. Sometimes it'll actually be sped up. But for the most part, dreams are like movies. They're cutscenes. So like it'll show somebody dating, two people dating, and then they'll be going down the aisle and with a wedding dress, and it's a wedding, and then they'll show a little baby, and then they'll show a little kid. And that happens in the span of a minute or two, and that tells like 10 years of their life or whatever, 5 years of their life. That's the montage that they go through in order to tell you what's going on. And a lot of that happens in a dream, right? 1 minute you're at work, and the next minute you're out, and the next minute you're doing this, and it seems to all make some kind of strange sense. But that's not what happens in the astral at all. It's this time, right? And see how that cat jumped up there? That'll happen in the astral. Unexpected things will happen. In unexpected ways. And time is linear, just like it is here. It doesn't have to be you, but for the basics of this video and the basics, astral time generally goes by physical time. And I can tell you why, but not in this video. On to the next thing. So which one should you practice? Oh, I choose. I do both, right? I choose lucid dreaming if you want. It's more creative. You could get in touch with your subconscious a lot more. Your subconscious can get in touch with you a lot more when you're lucid dreaming, because you're closer to that subconscious, and your subconscious is having an interaction with you, working out your day, working out the things you feel and the things you felt and the things you want to feel. It's a bit of a fearless playground sandbox you can get in and work out all of your life. That's why it exists. And it works, and it's doing that. You're doing that on a physical level. Your body does that on a physical level as well, right? You're healing. It's about physical healing, mental healing, emotional healing, and you're doing all that stuff. And when you're in a lucid dream, you can ask yourself questions. You can ask your subconscious. You have access to that. A lot better than you do in the daytime, for sure, and better to a marginal degree in the astral realm as well, because that is more of a waking consciousness situation. Choose astral projection if you want to more explore astral realms, which is my thing, right? I love it. If you want to explore human consciousness and your consciousness, it's more of an exploratory, because it's about you going out there and seeing it. It's like you going to another country. You want to see what the other country is about. There's thunder in the background. Don't worry about it. Also, if you want, astral projection is great for verifying consciousness outside the body, right? That's what the CIA was talking about when they studied the Gateway program, right? They studied it just a little bit, and they were like, yeah, this is the real deal. And if you want that verification, you can do that too. Story time. One of the first things I did with astral projection was do that too, right? I had to know if this was real. I had to know if it was a real deal. What was I doing? Ouch. Oh, what was I doing? Is this interesting? Is this just imagination? So what I did is I went out of my body and I put my hand through a wall into. I was just a teenager at the time, so I was living at home, and my closet had a wall on the other, and on the other side of the wall was my mom's closet. I didn't know what was in there. Never went in there. It's your mom's closet. It smells like mothballs and weird stuff and shoes and stuff, and so I leave it. Right? But then I said, that's the perfect environment. I'm gonna put my hand through the wall and see what's on the other side, or feel what's on the other side, and then go around over there and see if that's the case. Did that. It matched up perfectly with everything I had felt. I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away. But then I was like, and I was pretty smart as a teenager, because I was like, you know what? Subconsciously, I might have seen that. I might have went in there and I don't remember it, right? And I might have seen that, and my subconscious might be able to match that up with what I had and produce what I wanted to produce and give me what I wanted to experience. It's a long shot, but I need another experiment to find out if this is the real deal. Something I could never know in a jillion years. And I I thought of that and I left it on the back burner. Honestly, I should have solved that situation right then and said, this is what I'm going to do. That way you're prepared when you go out of body, you have a thing to do. Because if you don't, it can get off, you can get off track really easy. So, but I went and did it anyway. I got out of body and I was like, well, I want a verification. What should I do? And I looked around and I was like, oh, the ceiling. Maybe I should see if there's things up in the ceiling. So I put my hand through the ceiling to see, and you can feel things when you put your hands through it. It's kind of like putting your hands through water, right? There's different densities. The air is lighter and the water is harder, and maybe if there's a stream of water under the water, you can feel the difference. It's kind of like that, and I could feel the beams up above the sheetrock, and then there was this chunk of wood between the beams, and I said, aha, that's it. That's different. That is something I can look for. And that's what I did. When I got back into physical, I was like, well, I got that. I'm going up there right now and see if that chunk of wood, that block of wood about that big, is actually between the two I-beams holding up the attic or holding up the ceiling. I had to pry wood up, right? Because there's a floor up there of wood, hardwood floor. It was built in the 1950s when the country had a lot of money and they just did everything to the nth degree. They put a wood floor, a real wood floor, up in the attic. Okay, I digress. But I pried it up. It wasn't the greatest wood. It was low quality wood, but still. So I pried it up, and sure enough, right where I had where I felt that piece of wood, that chunk of wood, it was there. And it was not only there, it was in the shape that it was supposed to be in. And there was in the place it was supposed to be in. And there was no way, unless I was building that house, decades before I was born, which is reincarnation, which gets into a whole nother thing, no, there's no way I could have known that. There is no way I could have known that. That is verification, and that's why you choose astral projection in a lot of cases. And you might be like me and want continual verification to things. That's astral projection. So what about controversy and skepticism around, well, there's skepticism around lucid dreaming. I've been on dream websites where people are just describing their dreams because they want to analyze them, and then said I was talking about I had a lucid dream and I controlled everything and did everything, and they told me you couldn't do that. That's not a thing. That doesn't happen. Which is like saying, "Hey, you don't have this blue shirt on. Yeah, that's impossible. You can't have a blue shirt." So you just leave it be. And then what about astral projection? That's another hurdle for people, even beyond lucid dreaming. And the CIA already proved it. If they're good with it, I'm good with it. You know, they had top people who make large salaries, people who have big educations, important people have studied it. And then they took what they learned and they made all these documents and courses for themselves. And they probably furthered that program, who knows to what nth degree now, like what, 40 years later, right? It's important. It works. As far as the CIA is concerned, hey, I don't have anything to say about that. I can't compete with that then. If they say that I have a blue shirt on, then I have a blue shirt on. So just what I was talking about, verification. Astral projection is verification that takes away all the skepticism. And I'm a skeptic by nature in a lot of things. You have to prove it to me. But I'm okay with searching as well. I don't embrace my skepticism so much, like I'm not going to do that. I'm not even going to look into that because that's stupid. No, I'm like, it's very unlikely this isn't true, but I'll take a look into it anyway just to see if that's the truth. I mean, it's more like a scientific standpoint with things. So, call back to the beginning of the video. Remember when I told you that lucid dreaming could lead to astral projection? That is true. And I have done that a million times, right? When you get good at lucid dreaming, right? When you get good at lucid dreaming, it's almost going to happen like your mind is going to expect it. Like you're going to be dreaming and all these crazy things are going to be happening. And your mind is going to be like, are you lucid dreaming? Are you lucid dreaming? Are you lucid dreaming? And it's like, oh yeah, I am lucid dreaming. And then when you realize that you can take a lucid dream and turn it into astral projection in the astral, and you can do that, then astral projection becomes so incredibly easy. You don't have to go through the vibrational state. You've already went through it. You just didn't realize it, honestly. And you just pick up from out there because most of your consciousness is out there already. So what you do is there's a portion of your consciousness in the astral. You're in the astral when you're dreaming most of the time in a lot of ways. There's a lot of nuances. But you have your awakened consciousness here, usually just above your body, very close to it in proximity and in energy. Okay, anyway, so when you say, I'm lucid dreaming, you get that waking consciousness to come to you more in the astral, and now you're having a more conscious experience, but you're not out of body yet because it's still a lot in your mind. It's about you daydreaming basically in the astral. That's basically what it is. And I see these people all the time in the astral. They are there all the time. I call them sleepers. They are basically just going through some routines like they're at work, which is a shame because they're not getting paid for it. And they have this glassy look on their expression like they're there in the astral, but they're not there. So all the stuff is going on in their mind and they're really closed off to whatever you're doing. They may see you and interpret you as something else. That's a common thing too. Dreamers constantly think of you as something else. If you show up in their workplace, they're going to think you're a new manager or something, or an old manager, because it goes with the dream. It goes with the space. You don't see any of that. That's their thing. But you see them in the astral and they see you to some degree. However, if you break them out of their And that's really rare that you can break them out of their dreamlike trance. But when you break out of your dreamlike trance, all of a sudden everything will clarify. All of a sudden everything will be sharper. And your consciousness. Now, what's happening there is that your dream consciousness and your waking consciousness that you brought there with the lucid dreaming is being joined by even more waking consciousness. Okay, now you're as awake in consciousness as you are right now. Just regular you. You'll know that you're regular you, that this is the whole, you'll feel like it's the whole you. It's not the whole you. A lot of you is still over your body. Like maybe I should show that right here. That's a close approximation to what it would look like. It doesn't actually look like that, but it's a lot of you hanging out right next to your body, where your consciousness is, your waking consciousness pretty much is in the astral. That's lucid dreaming. Now you can have a shared experience with everybody in that realm. Just like you're having a shared experience with everybody in the physical, you can have it in the astral realm as well. And it's completely safe. It was made for you to be safe. It's made, you can't get hurt there. You can't get hurt. You can get upset. You can get upset anywhere. That's all you, right? It's not really the place. It's not the fault of the place. It's the fault of us. But we're primitive, we're learning, we're growing, and that's why I encourage this, and that's why I do it. We're learning about the universe. We're learning about ourselves, and I've learned so much about myself and the universe. And the universe isn't just about the physical stars and planets and all that stuff. There's a much, much, much bigger universe, and that's the energetic universe. That's the astral. That's the other side of the multiverse, okay? It's massively unimaginable. And that's what I like exploring. That's why I do a lot of this stuff. So what do you think is reality? Right? I just described like 4 different states of reality that we can experience, right? Physical, regular dreams, lucid dreams, astral projection. Which is the real one? Right? Describe that down in the comments below. I have my own opinion. I believe they are all correct. My idea on it is that it's kind of like when you're in a fishbowl and then you're not in a fishbowl. Think of sticking your head in a fishbowl. Have you ever been underwater and you looked up outside the water into the air? It looks different. It looks wavy and different, and things look off, like the sides of the pool will look closed in, as opposed to when you're outside of the water, the outside of the pool or farther away, that kind of thing. The perception is different depending on the realm that you're in or the perspective that you're in, but they're all valid. That's what I believe. What do you believe? Put it down in the comments. On to the next video. And next week, we'll just talk about how you can get to the OBE state, the out-of-body adventure state, the astral projection state, from the lucid dreaming state, so you don't have to go through some techniques to take you out of your body while you're in the physical. It's a lot easier. I do it. That's what I do. That's most of my thing right there. It's just so easy to do. So we'll do that next time. Have a good day. Put your comments down below. Like and subscribe and do all those wonderful things. And I'll see you later. And I'll see you in the astral, hopefully.